Welcome! So this is going to be a very probably spoilery little video here showing you all the Easter eggs and references to the wider Marvel universe such as the comics and previous movies. So, shall we jump in and dissect and look at just what they are referencing and hidden amongst the rubble of the Civil War? So the team are facing off against Crossbones in Lagos in Nigeria, which reminds me of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, because, well, there's a sequence that is pretty much the same as in that game. In the comics, Crossbones is pretty much an enemy of Captain America. His real name is Brock Rumlow, and he was also featured in Winter Soldier, the film that is, and in Civil War, the comics. He actually ended up killing Steve Rogers himself. Now, of course, Sam Wilson will be Team Captain America. Of course, it's a given. However, he is back here with a brand new paint job and his stolen wings. Well, they've got red on them, which are more like the original Falcon costume. And he's got a cool little gadget which comes out the top of his backpack. Well, it is a change from his Falcon in the comics, but this time he does call it Red Wing, so his little gadget, and he's become attached to it just like his actual Red Wing in the comics. The Institute at the start is a very, very, very subtle reference to a AIM scientist who is the Supreme Scientist, actually, Monica Rappaccini, and well, that's it. She helped assault the IFID in the comics, but that's about it. Now, the actual comic starts with a explosion caused by the New Warriors, a little known team who are trying to become big league and take on a supervillain team, but the supervillains actually explode, destroying an elementary school, which makes the American government sit up and take notice. Miriam Sharp is one of the mothers of the children here, who actually helps the Superhero Registration Act come into power, assisted by Tony Stark. Now, in the film, the woman who tells Tony about her son dying in Sokovia, well, this is pretty much a reference to that. So, when shit's going down and T'Challa wants to find out exactly where Bucky Barnes has gone, he has his Dora Milaje with him, who are the Adored Ones, which are basically serve as his bodyguards, and also prospect future wives. We can see one take on, or almost take on, Black Widow, which should be very fun to see, as T'Challa actually said. So, during the epic fight, the Civil War fight that we wanted to see so badly, we had the reveal of another character who is a 2-for-1 bargain for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We get Scott Lang turn into Giant Man, who, just like in the comics, well, it was Hank Pym in the comics who used his suit to turn into Giant Man, but now we've got Scott Lang as Giant Man, which is pretty awesome. The giant prison in the film, where the Avengers were actually held, is also in the comics, again for Civil War, and is also featured throughout the Marvel comics. It is the Raft prison where the Thunderbolts operate from, which is a team of... It's a Suicide Squad, basically, where supervillains can reduce their sentence by taking part in state-sponsored superhero actions. But yeah, this is pretty much where the main fight went down in the comics. Again, in the comics as well, the Negative Zone is featured in the Raft prison. But, of course, well, the Negative Zone is a Fantastic Four kind of idea, so we won't be seeing that anytime soon. Zemo in the comics is actually a proper Captain America villain who is handed down the mantle from his father, who also faced Captain America. So it's a pretty cool nod to the heritage of the comics, but we didn't really see much of the past. I think they've pretty much skipped that, to be honest. We also got a look in our first post-credits scene, a look at Wakanda and that giant panther statue, which is pretty awesome and sets the stage for the Black Panther film. And in our final post-credits scene, we got to see the final logo we're going to get for SpiderMan, which is the original logo, which is seen throughout history in Marvel and on the Marvel comics, which is pretty sweet. So if you like that, drop a like. If you've got any opinions, drop a comment. Goodbye.